listeners that it's actually building me up and it's making me stronger. So when they say things like, it's more blessed to give than it is to receive, that is actually the truth, because I get help by helping other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I read something the other day. If you want to learn something, teach it. So I just
Yes,
finished my online course, and believe you me, I learned so much because I felt like I was teaching it. I'm hearing an echo.
most definitely.
Yeah, there we go.
I heard that a little bit. I didn't know what it was. I thought, oh, Ray just doubled. She just doubled herself.
So, okay, now, I'm curious about the year you were in depression and you couldn't get out of bed. Were you with your wife then, and how did she handle that? How did she get through that?
Yes, actually, that was probably about 7 years ago. And during that moment, she was trying to decide whether she was going to stay or go.
Right.
I'm telling you, I had really hurt her, and she was trying to decide. And I'll never forget this. She told me one night, she started crying, and I told her this. I said, why don't you just go ahead and leave? Because everyone else has walked out of my life. And since I'm already in this pain, why don't you just go ahead and leave? And listen to what she told me. She goes, I want to with everything that is within me, but I can't because God won't let me.
Mm.
And I said, what do you mean God won't let you? She says, because unlike you, I see more in you than what you realize. And if I leave you, you will never become who God wants you to be.
Wow.
And she goes, so God won't let me leave because I'm here to keep you alive.
Wow. Amazing love.
So it was in that moment that she came alongside of me, and she started fighting with me instead of against me. Now I deserved it, trust me. I deserved every bit of it. But she came alongside of me, and instead of holding me down, she started lifting me up. And that is when we started fighting together for me to get to where I am. So I went from not able to get out of the bed, not wanting to see or talk to anybody, to now standing on stage in front of thousands to share my story.
Amazing.
So I'm telling you, you can. So when I say that you can bounce back from mistakes and heartache, I am living it right now.
Right. Absolutely, 100%. And Mickey, we can hear it in your voice. And what is amazing, when we take that pain that you experience, that pain, and like you said, you turn around and speak to others in crowds or whatever, whenever you're investing in somebody else, it's healing to your soul, but it's also showing others that, hey, as dark as it is, there's hope.
So every listener right now, when you hear Lorraine doing her program and you wonder why she's doing what she's doing it for you, but she's doing it for herself as well. That's why we do what we do.
Right. Because it keeps us, for me, it keeps me stretching. It keeps me thinking beyond my little world to thinking about the world out there and those that we can help. But yet it turns around, like you said, we're reaping some of the benefits of giving to others. It's just a beautiful cycle. It
keeps you stretching. It keeps me from drinking. I'm just going to tell you, that way I can just keep my sanity.
I totally stopped drinking, and this is how I am without alcohol. So
yes, me too. All this is straight water and Kool-Aid.
Right. So how do you said bouncing back from mistakes and bad decisions. So you bounced back. Part of that was your love, the love of your wife, I really believe, because your wife saw the potential in you when you couldn't see it in yourself. So somebody believed in you before you could see it for yourself. And that is like unconditional love. I think God rested on her shoulder and gave her an abundance of patience and grace at that moment. So once you started bouncing back, then did you start, begin to speaking? How did you get into speaking and all of that?
Well, I had always been in public speaking since I was about 17 years old. I was preaching in churches. I was going around and doing youth rallies. I was a musician, so I was on stage ever since the age 10. So I was always on stage. I didn't just get on stage after this. So that was already in me. It was already a part of me. So whenever I got to the point to where I started healing, I wrote a book. It's called I Am David, A Pastor's Fall into Grace. And when I wrote that book, I told my wife, because she pushed me. She goes, you've got a book inside of you and you need to share your story. And I told her, I sat down with her one day and I said, okay, I'm ready to write this book, but now I need to let you know that if I'm going to write this book, I'm going to be the most transparent that I could ever be. I'm going to tell it all. I'm not going to hide anything. And Lorraine, the reason I did that was because I wanted to get to the place to where no one could ever hold my past over me. And so I felt like if I just go ahead and throw it out there and just tell the world and just own my mistakes, then no one could ever use that against me. Because if they come up and say, hey, did you know that Mickey did this? People could say, yeah, he wrote a book about it. Did you read it?
Right.
So no one could ever hold that over my head. So in doing that, that book started opening up opportunities for me to go and share my story, because once people all over the world started hearing and reading my book, then they wanted me to start coming and speaking about it. And that's kind of where the comedy comes in, because I was always kind of that humorous person, but I saw how comedy will break down the walls. So when I walk into an event and I start doing comedy, then right in the middle of my comedy, when I have everybody laughing, hopefully that I'm doing my job correctly and they're laughing. So right in the middle of them laughing, then I turn around and tell them it wasn't too awful long ago that I wanted to kill myself.
Right.
Talking about dead silence in a room. I have everyone's attention at that moment because they want to hear what I have to say. Absolutely. And so I talked to them about how I went from wanting to kill myself to now standing before them, making them laugh and having a good time. Then that resonates with those people in the audience that are also dealing with depression, and it allows me the opportunity to speak into their life.
Yeah, beautiful. So even though you were on stages and speaking before that time, once you had the depression and came out of it, this invigorated your message and you became authentic because you had dug deep, and your book was the authentic Mickey.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Because before I was just a performer, entertainer. And so I was just a face in the crowd. I was just, there was nothing different about me. It was just nothing stood out. But the moment that the book came out and the moment that I was able to own my story, and that's what people need to do. You need to own your story. Right. Own up to your mistakes, but own up to your victories, and just own your story so nobody can take it away from you. And the moment that I started doing that and started sharing my story, and I started seeing the response of people, and I saw how powerful it was. Oh my goodness. That's what motivated me to want to get out and just tell even more people. Because once I saw people responding the way they were, I thought, we got to reach thousands with this.
Right. Because it's life-changing. People need hope. And so, Mickey, we are almost out of time, so I am so thankful that you're going to be here next week. So if you could tell the audience quickly before we go how they can get a hold of you, or they can, purchase that book, give them your website and your contact information.
Absolutely. You can just go to themickeybell.com. That's MICKEYBELL, themickeybell.com. There you can find out all the information about our comedy tours, some of the people we're touring with. You can also purchase the book there. It's also available on Amazon. Anywhere you purchase your books, you ought to be able to find the book, I Am David, A Pastor's Fall into Grace. Are we really already out of time?
I know. I feel like I'm so glad you're coming back next week, because
we haven't even had time to take up an offering yet, Lorraine. We've not even taken an offering, and we're already done.
I know. Can you believe this?
Goodness.
Hey, One way to close this week out, what do you believe is the single most important quality that produces resilience? Because you've got it. What is the quality that produces resilience in Mickey?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to answer this based on Mickey and not anybody else. Mm-hmm. Because for me it was pain.
Pain.
It was pain. Yeah. Number one, I wanted to stop hurting the people that I love. So that was a motivation for me. But then I also wanted to stop hurting Mickey. So the pain that I felt caused me to get to the place to where I never wanted to feel that again, nor did I ever want to cause it again.
Wow.
So those moments that I wanted to give up, and those moments that I wanted to quit, I would think about the pain that I have already caused, and it would convince me not to cause any more pain or make decisions not to cause any more pain for me or for my family.
Wow. Now there is a gem, audience. That is beautiful. That's what's caused resilience. That's what has made resilience in Mickey, is the pain that he has experienced before. He does not want anybody to experience that again, or his family. Beautiful. I haven't ever had that answer. Now, you are coming back next week, which I'm so excited. So we'll keep going. But audience, I want you to remember out there, it is never too late. It is never too late to lose weight, to follow your dreams. It is never too late to stop feeling the pain, to take care of yourself, to be responsible. It is never too late to live a life of purpose. It's just never too late. And we will see you back here next week. And Mickey, I can hardly wait to see you back. Talk to you soon.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. Yes.
Bye.